Hare Krishna. So in the previous Shloka, Krishna said, my devotees are the most perfect ones. And now Krishna is going to comment on the impersonalists. So let's see what Krishna has to say here for the impersonalists. akṣaram anirdeśyam avyaktaṁ paryupāsate sarvatra-gam acintyaṁ kūṭa-stham acalaṁ dhruvam sanniyamyendriya-grāmaṁ sarvatra sama-buddhayaḥ te prāpnuvanti mam eva sarva-bhūta-hite ratāḥ. So in two shlokas, shloka number 3 and 4, Krishna is speaking about the ones who worship the impersonal feature of the Lord. So he is saying, tu, tu actually stands for but. So after speaking about the devotees, that the ones who worship my personal form, they are the most perfect. And then he adds, but, and then he continues. Those people who anirdeśyam avyaktaṁ, who worship the unmanifested. Akṣaram, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses. And then he is giving lots of different features of the impersonal Brahman. He says, sarvatra-gam, that is all-pervading. Acintyaṁ, inconceivable. Then kūṭa-stham, that is unchanging. And then acalaṁ, that is fixed. And finally dhruvam, that is immovable. So these are the different features of the impersonal Brahman. And now he says that how do they worship this impersonal Brahman? By sanniyamyendriya-grāmaṁ, by controlling the senses completely. And second one, sarvatra-sama-buddhayaḥ, they are equally, they treat everyone equally. They are equally disposed to everyone. sarva-bhūta-hite ratāḥ, and they work for the welfare of everyone. Then Krishna says, te prāpnuvanti mam eva. In such a people who are engaged in these various activities, they finally attain me. Now this is a nice shloka which talks about the impersonalists. So a lot of things are given. So in the first shloka, that is shloka number 3, different qualities. No, I shouldn't say qualities because impersonal Brahman doesn't have any qualities. So different attributes are given wherein the impersonal Brahman is described. And then how people attain that impersonal Brahman, that is given here. So here in purport, Prabhupada is saying, those who do not directly worship the Supreme Godhead, Krishna, but to attempt to achieve the same goal by an indirect process, also ultimately achieve the same goal, Sri Krishna. So in 7th chapter, Krishna made it very clear, where he said, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti sahamatma su durlabhaha. So the jnanis, the ones who are worshipping the impersonal aspect of the Lord, the impersonal feature of the Lord, Bahunam janmanam ante, after many lifetimes, jnanavan mam prapadyate, when they come to the ultimate conclusion, when they have proper understanding, proper realization, what do they say? Vasudevam sarvamiti. Then they believe that Vasudeva, Krishna, is everything, source of everything. Basically, from impersonalism, they come to personalism after many lifetimes. And then, towards the end, it is said, Saha Mahatma, such great souls, Su Durlabhaha. Durlabha means rare. And Su is added to it. Su Durlabhaha, very rare. So basically, here Krishna is saying that such people will attain me. But we understand from Krishna's own words in the previous chapters that very few people are going to attain Krishna by following this process of impersonalism or worshipping the impersonal feature of the Lord. So here it is said, if one approaches the Godhead by a method mentioned in this verse, he has to control the senses, render service to everyone, and engage in the welfare of all beings. So let us all try. let us all try doing this. So we have to control our senses completely. So in the kitchen, when very nice foodstuff is cooked and nice aroma is coming, we should close our nose. No. Control. Completely control. And when nice foodstuff is kept in front of us, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to feed my tongue. I have to control my tongue. I have to control my eyes, control my nose, control my ears, control all the senses. So this is what is the first thing that has to be done. Then the next thing is that render service to everyone. Doesn't matter which category the person belongs to. You have to go and render the service to that person. And engage in the welfare of all beings. Now don't talk about time. You have time, don't have time, doesn't matter. You have to go and do this seva. Go and serve. Serve or engage in welfare activities for everyone. It is inferred that one has to approach Lord Krishna, otherwise there is no perfect realization. Often there is much penance involved before one fully surrenders onto him. Now, obviously this entire process is there, that one has to control the senses, one has to equally be disposed to everyone and work for the welfare of everyone. All these things are there. But even when the person is doing all these things, if he doesn't have tinge of bhakti in that particular process, if he doesn't approach Krishna, what will happen? He will not attain perfection. He cannot attain even Brahma Jyoti. So here Krishna said that at last he will achieve me. Now when Krishna is saying at last he will achieve me, there are three features of the Lord. That is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So which feature will this person achieve? So a natural answer is Brahma Jyoti. So he'll attain Brahman because he is aspiring to attain Brahman. So he'll attain Brahman. But by the mercy of some devotee, when a devotee enters his life and then he changes the goal itself. No, you don't go to Brahman, you go to Krishna. You go to Goloka Vrindavan. Then the person changes his practice, starts doing devotional service and goes back home, back to Godhead, to Goloka Vrindavan. Then we can say he has attained Krishna. So two options are there with him. Either he attains Brahma Jyoti, because he is aspiring for Brahma Jyoti or Brahman. And second, by the association of a devotee, he can attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So in this way, we understand that to attain Brahman, to attain Brahma Jyoti, lots of penance the person has to do. Lots of austerity. Before coming to the point of surrendering to Krishna, he has to do a lot of austerity. And this austerity is not one lifetime austerity. Many lifetimes, bahunam janmanam. Many lifetimes he has to undergo lots of austerities before he realizes. Now, firstly, he will realize that I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. Then after that, he will realize, oh, okay, there is a personality called Krishna. And then after that, he is going to surrender. So don't know how many lifetimes are needed to have these levels of realization and finally come to the topmost level of surrendering onto the lotus feet of Krishna. Here it is said that in order to perceive the super soul within the individual soul, one has to cease the sensual activities of seeing, hearing, tasting, working, etc. Then one comes to the understanding that super soul is present everywhere. So basically we have to sit at one place and do nothing, because sense control. If we don't do that, then realizing super soul by this process of impersonal worship, impersonal realization will not be achieved. So the sense control is very important here. And so we said, lots of austerity is involved. At every step there is a lot of austerities. Because see, senses naturally will get attracted to sense objects. And what are we saying? No, you shouldn't get attracted. Now, when the eyes want to see something, now the person is practicing this particular process of worshipping impersonal feature. So he'll close his eyes. Now just imagine closing the eyes and walking on the road, what will happen? Obviously on a lighter note. But then on a serious note, if we just think about it, how can we avoid seeing? How can we avoid speaking? How can we avoid smelling, hearing, touching? How can we avoid all this? How can we avoid working? And how can we think about just sitting at one place and doing nothing? It's a very difficult thing. So, we might think not doing anything is easy, but to be very frank, not doing anything is very difficult. Because our natural tendency that we have is all the time we are active. Now, you might say, no, I'm just sitting and my eyes are closed. But the mind is full active, hyperactive. So now in this way we understand that we are always active and suddenly we are told don't do anything. What will happen? That is what is the case here. So it needs lots of austerity. That no, I am supposed to just sit. No, I'm not supposed to think anything. No, I'm not supposed to see, hear, smell. I'm not supposed to do anything of these sorts. This is what is the thing that is told here. And then realizing this, one envies no living entity. He sees no difference between man and animal because he sees only soul, not the outer covering. Because after so much of austerity, the person starts seeing what? We are not the body, we are spirit soul. This is what the conclusion he gets after doing lots of austerities. Then, whichever bodies he is seeing, be it animal or human being, then he starts seeing, oh, okay, he's a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. He's spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. But for common man, this method of impersonal realization is very difficult. I think I need not describe this now. It's obviously very, very difficult. But when it comes to us as devotees, we are enjoying. Our eyes are engaged in seeing the beautiful form of Lord Krishna in the temple. And our tongues are always engaged in doing two activities: singing the Mahamantra and tasting the Mahaprasad. The life and soul of devotees is Mahaprasad. If we remove that only, it will be so difficult. So Mahaprasad. And then when it comes to hearing, Shravanam, we hear the various wonderful songs on Lord Sri Krishna, the Vaishnava bhajans, and glories of Lord Krishna and various pastimes of Lord Krishna and his devotees. So we keep hearing. And when it comes to touching, yes, we do touch so many different things which are soft and which are very nice, which can be offered to Krishna. So in this way, devotees, they don't avoid senses and sense objects interaction. They just make sure that senses coming in touch with sense objects are directed towards Krishna's service. So devotees are very intelligent. They know very well, no use of austerity, because I cannot do anyways. I am in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga body is Khatara Gadi, so we cannot do much. So only thing that we have to do is just see how can I engage my senses in service of Krishna all the time, and will be perfect. And in this, engaging the tongue is very, very important by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now, after speaking about this, Krishna, he thinks, okay, I have spoken about the superiority of bhakti. Now let's speak about how inferior this process of worshipping the impersonal feature of mine is. So let's see this in the next video. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.